Emerging Hawthorn attacker Mitch Lewis has booted 4 goals in quarter, and 5 in total in a stunning 64-point upset AFL win against Port Adelaide. The Hawks' 19.6 to 7.14 victory at Adelaide Oval on Saturday night gives their new coach Sam Mitchell consecutive wins to start his tenure. And it puts Port Adelaide, rated by most pundits as a flag fancy, in early season strife with successive defeats. Lewis finished with 5 goals and veteran forwards Jack Gunston and Luke Brewster booted 3 each for the sharp Hawks, who slotted 13 goals without a miss from set shots. A pair of Hawks scored 2 goals, Dylan Moore, who was involved in 9 of his side's scores, and Chad Wingard, who was substituted at half-time because of a hamstring injury. Hawthorn's Brownlow medalist Tom Mitchell, James Werpel and Jack Scrimshaw were other standouts. And the Hawk defence, marshalled by James Sicily and Jack Frost, was downright miserly on a bleak night for the Power. Port utility Sam Powell-Pepper scored 3 goals, all in the third term, and the home side had the top 4 ball winners on the ground in Travis Boak, Carla Morn, Ollie Wines and Zach Butters. But the Hawks were never headed after keeping the Power goal-less in the first term to craft a 3.2 to 0.3 lead at quarter-time. Hawthorn extended their advantage to 28 points at half-time after rallying when Port snuck within 9 points, the closest the home side could get thereafter. The second quarter was bookended by remarkable snapped goals from Gunston. The veteran Hawk slotted one early with a curling right footer near a boundary line, and threaded another late with a left footer from an acute angle near the opposite boundary. Loading. Hawthorn's 8.4 to 3.6 half-time advantage belied key statistics. Port had a 73 more disposals, 3 more entries into their attacking 50-metre zone, more tackles, marks and clearances, and the top 5 disposal getters in the half. But the Power's concerns turned into outright alarm in a third term dominated by Hawthorn spearhead Lewis. The 38-gamer booted 4 goals in a 28-minute purple patch. The Hawks scored 6 goals in the quarter and were 44 points up before 2 late strikes from Port's Powell-Pepper reduced their lead to 36 points at the last change. Hawthorn then kept their hosts goalless again in the final quarter, while kicking another 5, with Port's woes compounded by fullback Trent McKenzie being subbed out with a suspected ankle injury. D's hold off spirited Suns. Melbourne's premiership class has overshadowed a battling effort from Gold Coast, as the Demons posted a 13-point AFL win over the Suns. On the back of their drought-breaking win over West Coast in Perth last weekend, the Suns made a fast start at Carrara Stadium, but couldn't keep pace with the Demons, as the Premiers made it 2 from 2 with a 12.10 to 10.9 win. Young star Luke Jackson was everywhere for the Demons in an eye-catching performance, picking up 21 disposals all over the ground, 7 clearances, and kicking 2 goals including a crucial effort in the opening term. Gun midfielder Christian Petrarca claimed a career-best 41 disposals, picking up 14 inside 50s for his team in a typically dominant display. Teenager Jake Bowie continued his fine start to his AFL career, with 34 disposals and 9 marks. Kysaiah Paquette and Ben Brown also kicked 2 goals apiece for the visitors, while Clayton Oliver was also impressive for the Demons. Luke Jackson was excellent again for Melbourne against Gold Coast. Gold Coast's own superstar midfielder Tuke Miller was the standout for the hosts. Recruit Levi Casbolt had 2 goals on his home debut for the Suns, while fellow newcomer Maybe Achol was busy throughout, attempting several eye-catching plays and kicking a goal after strong pack mark before tiring late in the game. Noah Anderson and Jack Lukosius were the other multiple goal kickers for the Suns with 2 each. Despite the late omission of small forward Isaac Rankin due to a corked quad, the Suns started faster than their more fancied opposition, kicking the first 15 points of the game before the Demons hit the front with 30 seconds to go in the term after 3 late goals. Melbourne extended their lead to 16 points in the second term, but rather than wilting, the Suns came again and got within 2 points before another late rally by the Demons had them 14 points clear at the main break. The Suns were unable to keep up with Melbourne's accurate finishing in the third term, and when Piquet scored his second on the run, with a fine finish, they had opened up a game-high 22-point advantage at the final turn. Anderson's second goal of the night in the fourth quarter had Gold Coast in the hunt, but the Demons kept their opponents at arm's length for the final minutes to claim a 10th straight win over the Suns. Melbourne host Essendon at the MCG on Friday, while Gold Coast travel to Sydney to play GWS next Saturday. Neil leads Lions to professional win over Ers. Lorchie Neil has delivered a star turn to help Brisbane overcome a flat start and beat Essendon by 22 points to maintain their unblemished start to the AFL season. The 2020 Brownlow medalist was clearly best on ground, racking up 41 disposals, 2 goals and 12 clearances, as the Lions kicked away in the second half for a 15.7 to 10.15 victory. In the process, Brisbane condemned a wasteful Essendon to a 0-2 start and ensured Joe Daniher had a happy homecoming in his first game in Melbourne against the Ers since departing as a free agent at the end of 2020. Daniher booted 2 majors and was one of 4 Lions to kick multiple goals, with classy winger Hugh McCluggage kicking 3, while Dane Zorko battled through a lower leg issue for 33 touches and 16 marks. Essendon's Peter Wright booted 3 goals and had 11 marks. Midfielders Zach Merritt and Darcy Parish were typically industrious, with 31 and 35 disposals respectively, while Archie Perkins kicked 3 goals on his 20th birthday. Joe Daniher got a win in his first game against Essendon back in Melbourne. Wright started the game in ominous fashion, booting 2 goals, plunking 8 marks and racking up a quarter-high 12 disposals to lead Essendon to a 22-point lead at the first change. Essendon's lead could easily have been more, but for wasteful kicking, and they would rue their inefficiency as Brisbane surged with 6 consecutive second-term goals. Daniher was booed when he marked midway through the second term, but silenced the crowd by levelling the scores and then teeing up Nakia Cockatoo to put Brisbane in front. The game seesawed in the third term until 4 minutes before three-quarter time. A slow-moving James Stewart appeared to rush Zach Bailey's snap through for a point. But on a score review, the key defender was ruled not to have touched the ball. The goal extended Brisbane's lead to 18 and Daniher slotted his second minutes later to deliver a 4-goal lead at the final change. It proved a deficit the Ers couldn't claw back, while Nick Cox was helped off the ground in the dying minutes, and Merritt also limped off late. Essendon named Tex Wanganeen, son of Gavin Wanganeen, to debut as substitute, but he didn't get on the field, nor did Lions substitute Jackson Pryor. Fire alarm can't stop Pies in win over Crows. Collingwood have overcome a bizarre mid-game interruption and continued their strong start to the AFL season under new coach Craig McRae with a 42-point thumping of Adelaide. A false alarm briefly halted play at the MCG. An evacuation alarm sounded early in the second quarter at the MCG on Saturday, leaving fans shocked and confused as they started heading for the exits. Play was held up for about 5 minutes before venue officials confirmed it was a false alarm caused by a small fire in a food outlet. Collingwood's young guns and new recruits shone in the 15.10 to 8.10 victory, set up during a 7-goal onslaught in the third quarter. The result improved the Magpies' record under McRae to 2-0, but was soured by a shoulder injury to new cult hero Nathan Kreuger. The former Geelong swingman played forward on his Collingwood debut and immediately won over many of the black and white faithful with 2 goals before he was substituted out during the last quarter. Nathan Kreuger kicked 2 goals for Collingwood before leaving the game with a shoulder injury. Beau McCreery and Oliver Henry also kicked multiple goals, with the latter nailing a pair of brilliant snap shots at the city end. Former Western Bulldogs midfielder Patrick Lipinski had 24 disposals and kicked a goal in another impressive display for his new club. Collingwood booted 5 goals to 1 in the first term as the visitors' inaccuracy proved costly, leaving them in a 21-point hole when the false alarm dramatically brought play to a halt. The two teams gathered in huddles in the centre of the ground, with neither appearing overly concerned. The match restarted with a ball up in Adelaide's forward line and a pair of quick goals to Mitchell Hinge,